Welcome to the Town of Olive Town Board meeting. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Can we all rise for the pledge of allegiance, please? Board Member Felder, your last night here.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Kim, can you please do the roll call?
Board Member Bonner.
I'm here.
Board Member Kelder.
I am here.
Board Member Ettinger.
Here?
Board Member Reed.
Here.
Supervisor Springer.
Here. We've all had a chance to look at the November meeting minutes and the December special meeting minutes. Can I get a motion to approve both of those meeting minutes?
Make a motion to approve the meeting minutes.
Oh, me.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, well, we have a very special group of people here tonight. Let's see, what do we have? It's Cindy Bishop and Mr. Rory Smith. I guess you're presenting or
We
coming
are.
up?
Very briefly.
Oh, okay, I didn't know who was coming up.
Shall we come up?
Yeah, come on up.
Okay, great.
And this is pertaining to the Onfiora Capital Project vote, which is tomorrow from
Yes.
7 a.m. to 9 p.m.
And
Snow or no snow?
either way.
Either
Yeah,
way, you
yeah.
go.
We're not canceling it.
Okay.
Yeah, and Sierra's gonna pass out some handouts for everybody. So we just wanted to make a very brief presentation about our capital project bonds that are being voted on tomorrow at the Central Campus in the wrestling room, which is right next door to Central Administration. When you pull in by the lit sign in the front yard of the middle school, high school, you pull right in by, if you know where Central is, it's the first door that you see on your left. The parking lot there will be cleared for voters to park. There's about 15 parking spaces there. And there isn't any school tomorrow, so you can also park in the bus lane that's like kind of runs parallel to 28. There's safe sidewalks. It's ADA accessible. There's no stairs, and there'll be plenty of room indoors to wait indoors if there is a line. We've had a tremendous turnout with our early mail-in voting and our early hand-in voting, because if you wanted to, you could just come to Central Administration, fill out an early voting application, and you could be handed a ballot. But that ended today at 5 o'clock. So people are voting. That's the good news. There are two propositions on the ballot tomorrow. We are hoping that both of them pass. Proposition 1 is a bond. It's a $26.9 million bond, which is a loan or like a mortgage. It gets paid back over time. There are annual payments, and it'll be paid for over an 18-year period of time. During that time, the projected, amount that New York State aid will give us for building aid is on that bond will be $697,000 annually, and between the state aid and the savings of closing both of the outlying buildings, there will be no addition to the tax levy. Proposition 2 is a $15 million proposition. There is no borrowing for that. We have $10 million in our fund balance for capital projects, which the voters have allowed us to save over time. Now we're asking the voters to allow us to spend it on these capital projects. By the time we get to the build stage of this project, we will have saved an additional $3 to $5 million, so we will be able to pay the $15 million of Proposition 2 with cash. We will not be borrowing on that at all. The scope of Proposition 1 is essentially adding 8 new classrooms, and upgrading a lot of infrastructure at Bennett Elementary School, which will become the only kindergarten 5th grade school in the district. Proposition 2 does have some upgrades to Bennett in it, such as windows for the whole front of that building. The windows in the front part of that building are the original windows that were ever in there. And so they're really in very bad shape. You can see how some of them look if you flip that paper over and look at some of the pictures. Proposition 2 also modernizes and expands 2 music rooms at Bennett, improving the acoustics so that the music rooms are not like detrimental to instruction in the rooms that are close to them, which it is really like that now. Those were initially, when the building was built, those music rooms used to be kindergarten classrooms, and so it's been a long time. I was talking to somebody on the phone today who was asking me about these pictures and said, you know, the pictures of those science classrooms look like they may be original. That might be the original design. And I said, oh, it is. And the middle school, high school building was built in 1951. The cornerstone is from 1951, so it's like long overdue. Some of these improvements. So you can see on the scope of work, you know, really exactly what we're looking to achieve by having these 2 propositions pass. It's really for our students, for our staff, for our community, and obviously, if you've been following what's been going on, the initial vote in May, we had 1 proposition up on that vote. It was a much greater amount of money. We really scaled the plan back because we heard loud and clear from our community that it was too much. It was too much money, and it was, I'm just gonna use a word that's easier because there are so many words that were used. It was too fancy. It just included too many kind of bells and whistles. So that's really all we have to say. Oh, one other thing, I just want to be really clear. Voting no on the propositions will not assure that Woodstock remains open. We have passed a resolution that Woodstock is closing at the end of the 27-28 school year, and all of our kindergarten through 5th grade students will be educated on the central campus in Boyceville. Whether we can improve the buildings or not, that is the truth. And I just wanted to be really clear about that. Any questions?
Any questions from the board?
Why isn't there any voting in Woodstock this time?
There were a lot of reasons, and one of them is really kind of poignant tonight because we're expecting a snowstorm tomorrow. Having said that, it gets dark around 4:30, 4:40 right now. We know that Woodstock has a great turnout for voting, and if you drive through Woodstock on an election day or a voting day, there's cars parked all along the golf course. People are walking across the road to get to the school. There's a line, there's always a long line outside the building. We didn't want that to have to happen in December. You know, it was just really unsafe for that. And then over the past few years, we've had issues with voting machines and the election staff, and we'll have somebody from Boyceville having to run to Woodstock to fix a machine, or the opposite, or to like bring more ballots if they ran out of ballots. And their suggestion was that we have 1 location. And many of our surrounding school districts only have 1 voting location in districts that are much smaller geographically than ours.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks. Any other questions?
Any questions from the audience? Quiet,
All right.
cold crowd.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
for
inviting
coming.
us.
Nice to see you.
Thanks so much.
Take care. Okay, you got that off the plate. We had some correspondence this month. We received Excuse me, correspondence from Lane Stowe, requesting the town recognize his late parents, Katie and Larry Stowe, for their contributions to the town. We received a letter of resignation from Code Enforcement Officer John Ingram. We received a letter of resignation from Building Inspector Dominic Cavello, both of those at the end of the year. And we have a letter of resignation from Planning Board member Edwin Maldonado, who's sitting right here. He's resigning from the Planning Board, or he did resign from the Planning Board, and he will be filling a town board seat in January. I'd like to make a motion that we send letters of thanks recognizing their service to the town to the Code Enforcement Officer, John Ingram, to Dominic Cavello, who's not here, and to, we can send one to Ed one too, for his service. He didn't quite serve as long as John. John, how long did you serve?
I think it's 38 years.
38 years. And also a letter of thanks for their service to Town Clerk Dawn Jadita, who resigned as per the last meeting, and Deputy Clerk Amanda Winning.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. All right. Oh, I have the presentation. Yeah. I screwed it up. Don't pay attention to the agenda in front of you. Budget modifications to general fund. I make a motion to transfer from A 9060.8 health insurance to A 200.2 payroll to fund HSA for $55,802. And to transfer A 9060.8 health insurance to T20.2 HRA to fund HRA for $13,951. Transfer from Reserve R Records Management Fund to A 1460.4 Records Management Contractual as per resolution number 22, 2025 for $3,855. And to transfer $11,000 from A 1990.4 Contingency to A 1420.4 Attorney Contractual for $7,000. A 5182.4 Street Lighting Contractual for $1,500. A 7180.4 Pool Contractual, $1,500. And A 8160.4 Refuse and Garbage Contractual for $1,000. Can I get a second on that motion?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Moving on. The Highway Fund. I'd like to make a motion to transfer from D 9060.8 health insurance to A 200.2 payroll to fund HSA for $52,315, and to transfer D 9060.8 health insurance to T20.2 HRA to fund HRA for $6,976. Can I get a second for that?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Take a little drink of water before I go in here. I make a motion to approve the following vouchers for payment. Highway Fund vouchers number 215 through 238 for $170,742.36. Highway General Fund vouchers number 546 through 595 for $273,705.27. Special Lighting voucher number 9 for $95.97. Special Fire voucher number 3 for $412,570. And special grant for the Nifwith Boysville project for $9,156.71. Can I get a second
I'll
on that?
second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Cash received in October, the interest earned was $14,547.19. Cash received in October was $119,052.93. Public to be heard. If you wish to speak at the meeting, please come up and introduce yourself so the clerk can take your name down. And would anyone like to be heard?
This was written in regard to the comprehensive plan that I think we're all going to hear more about later on in this meeting.
But anyway, let's
Okay.
give your name first to the clerk.
Starts right here, sentence number 1, okay? My name is Cheryl McNulty, and I've lived in Olive for over 60 years, and at my current home, on Black Boulder Road, for 57 years. Back then, there was no Boyceville Market, no Shokan Square. The nearest bread and milk was at Skin Davis's store in West Shokan. We all lived in rural Olive and loved our life. Time moves on, more houses were built, the schools were filled with children, life was good. In hindsight, we can look back and should have realized that septic fields were not meant to last forever and may even begin to threaten our wells and the beautiful Shokan Reservoir. Since I was a member of Olive Action and my knock on doors turf was that closest to the proposed sewer treatment plant, I was asked to go around and encourage residents to approve the Shokan sewer system. I heard rumors that having a sewer system might be used to lure businesses into our town. I told my voters that the current zoning would not allow that to happen, and that I was assured by my officials that that was the case. For the past 2 years, I've tried to attend as many town meetings as possible, not just the town board meetings and audits, but also the zoning committee, the zoning appeals, the housing committee, the comprehensive planning committee, and many others. During that time, I've witnessed subdivision plans approved and have seen how the process works. It seems very little in life is strictly black and white. We live in shades of gray. No longer is it the rule that we have one house per acre, but now we're asked to consider having a 4 to 7 family unit buildings on a half acre in the Shokan Sewer District. And all this has been made possible because we believe the current zoning at the time of the sewer vote would remain in effect despite having a new sewer system. I now live with regret that I misled students, okay, my old job, okay, misled residents, letting them believe we could have a sewer and remain rural. These are the people I talk to several times a year, getting out the vote for all of you on the town board. So many of our voters have no idea what the comprehensive plan is and how it will guide our future. Through handouts and flyers throughout the town, many have attended the Hamlet meetings and know nothing of what has happened since. Some do not have internet access, and many who do have no idea how to access town information online. Having an informational meeting or publicly heard just before the town votes on a comprehensive plan seems unjust. Our voters deserve more. And doing this during the time of our harshest weather, where many find it difficult to get out, seems like poor planning. I agree that everyone deserves to have a roof over his or her head. Olive is huge, and letting the town board decide that Shokan and Boyceville will be the focus for affordable housing is an example of the majority overruling the minority. This is not who we are. Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl. Would anyone else like to speak?
I do, but boy, I don't wanna go after that. Mine isn't as prepared. So, Allison. So I was just gonna say, very similar thing. I had a nice pretty letter I was gonna send out today to you guys so that you had it, but I didn't. So, I mean, it was so well done, I thought the comprehensive plan, I mean, there was the gorgeous Kate McLaughlin picture and the surveys were everywhere. They did an amazing job of pulling, I mean, people that didn't have the internet, they got it from the library, or they got it from TEDA's, or they got it, it was so well advertised, and everyone seemed, everybody was saying, look, I can't believe how many people actually did this. They were amazed, the number of people that did it. And then they went to the Hamlet meetings, which I went to every single one, and they were all a little different, but they were all really well attended, and everybody was really giving their all, trying to put their 2 cents in, and everybody was saying, keep it rural. So even in Shokan and Boyceville, we really want it to be rural. And now, we've gone, like Cheryl said, there was this big rush of stuff, and it was very well done, and Barbara was really into it, and all the comp plan people wanted to be sharing and transparent, and then there was this time where, kind of like nothing was happening that anybody saw. The comprehensive plan people were trying their darndest to figure out the plan and change things, and then, it went off, and Barbara retired, and we have, a different consultant now who isn't as warm fuzzy. And so now it's back after much work and Cheryl Spada's, creativity, and it's like exists on the website. And Drew, thank you for telling me it was there. I really appreciate that. But it's on the website in kind of like little bits and pieces. And I know I've looked at it and I'm still like, where is everything? It's like, it would be really, really nice after everything that happened to get it to the point that it is, all the really beautiful everything. that they would stop and have a meeting before it and not have a public hearing, because a public hearing is, you know, you come, you say 2 minutes or whatever, you've had to look at it yourself, you're going, what even is this thing? And you don't know where all the pieces are, and whereas, you know, and if the consultant can be there, like, we don't even know if he can be, and if the consultant is there, what does it matter? Because you get your 2 minutes, and then you can maybe talk to the consultant after, but it's too late because you already had your 2 minutes. So I'm just wish that you guys would consider, instead of having the public hearing, have an informational session. That beautiful session she had, like at the end of phase 1, and when the survey results were in, and the pictures all over the place, and just it was just like a really welcoming thing. Why can't we welcome the final thing the way we welcomed it through the rest of the process? And, oh, one more thing, just sorry. I know that the mega minutes are gone, but it sounds like there's still transcripts that I can get, and maybe video. So I was just hoping that maybe instead of having to foil the transcripts and the video, that maybe they could just be online as an option. Like if you had the little mini minutes, you could have the transcript with everything for the people like me that want to see it, and a video, which would be really nice. So anyway, those are my 2 things, and thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
Yes.
Mr. Hufford?
My name is Jason Hufford. I'm requesting the town to complete executive session since I cannot email you or call you. Mr. Franco, can I meet you in executive session?
No, we deny that. You
Okay, that's
cannot
fine.
meet with
Okay.
us in executive session, excuse me, unless you have your attorney present.
No, I do not. I'm requesting to meet you in executive session to go over sensitive information. I do not want to put this information out in front of the town board, in front of the public, but if you will not meet me in executive session, I will continue on. Mr. Franco?
You can carry on.
Okay. Today I'm here to discuss official misconduct by an individual that's employed by the town of Olive. I believe all 10 town board members should be advised of misconduct. In April 8th, 2025, I provided the town a list of complaints. The town board said they were unfounded. Individuals' complaints were, information in these complaints included individual in a mental hospital, individual leaving his gun in a public bathroom, individual speeding in the police car. On May 13th, the town supervisor provided me information that said all these things were unfounded. Nobody ever asked any questions, they were unfounded. I have stated in documents that it's unfounded, that this individual is in a mental hospital. It is my belief that the individual was involuntarily placed in a mental hospital in 2011 after he was arrested for buying drugs in a police car. The reason I know this information is the individual advised me of it after he was out of the hospital. I have confirmed with 2 other people that the individual was involuntarily placed in a mental hospital. There is a possibility that this individual was involuntarily placed in a hospital and they would not be able to possess a gun in accordance with federal laws and state laws. Individual denied using the hospital in 2025, and this is a misleading and false statement. This is also official misconduct, which is a Class A misdemeanor. The individual left a gun in a public bathroom. I was at the office when the individual had left his gun in the public bathroom after a police chief's meeting. I confirmed this information with others. The individual denied that they left the gun in the public bathroom when questioned in 2025, providing false and misleading statements. This is also official misconduct, which is a Class A misdemeanor. Police commissioners were advised of this and they also covered it up. Proof. On June 10th, the town board meeting, I provided a disc with 92 photos. Some of the photos showed the police car driving in excess of 105 miles an hour. Violations for speeding at 108 miles an hour. Reckless driving, unclassified misdemeanor. Anything over 105 miles an hour is an automatic suspension of your driver's license. This individual was speeding 105, 106, 107, and 108 miles an hour. So they've committed multiple misdemeanors. The individual has used his status as a police officer to break multiple New York State laws, violate Olive Police Department policies and procedures. The individual speeding on New York State Thruway committed misdemeanors while driving the town of Olive police car. When there was an investigation in this matter, he provided misleading and false information. Again, official misconduct, Class A misdemeanor. I was also advised at the time that the email from the individual, I also advised the town that the email from the individual in December 23 had complete lies. I provided information to the town board and in emails that proved the individual has lied on this document. I even provided a sworn statement that was notarized about this lie. How can an individual who broke the law by committing multiple unclassified misdemeanors and then lie to keep his job? The most recent FOIL request I requested items that would prove that the individual in question has lied. The town did not provide some of the documents that were requested, as they don't have them to provide. This will prove in the end that the individual in question again is lying. With the tax in the town of Olive going up so much, is the town board being financially responsible to the town of Olive taxpayers by covering up misconduct at the cost of the town? There is this double standard in the town of Olive. I will go over the Olive Police Department policies and procedures and provide town board members and others a list of misconduct the individual has committed. At some point, I will take the emails to and from the town board to include name, address, meeting minutes, and other documents in my possession, and send them to all media outlets from New York City to Albany. The town board has repeatedly covered up this misconduct. I want to make it very clear to everybody here. At some point, I will retire, but I will not retire before I clear my name. Okay? If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. Otherwise, I'd like to thank the town board for the meeting.
Thank
and the
you.
time tonight.
Anyone want to follow that public hearing? Anyone else? Okay, where are we gonna move on? We have a nice special night here for some people. And we have 2 police officers that we would like to approve the hiring of. Jordan Burrian and Joshua Kurz. Why don't you step up here, please? You can come up here and meet us and shake our hands, and we can shake your hand, actually. And do you want to speak on their behalf, or?
I'm just gonna make an introduction to Josh Kurz and Mr. Berry.
You can face the audience while he does his.
I'm Rob Fisher. I'm a part-time sergeant with your Olive Police Department. And we have a new recruit who's gonna be starting the academy in January, Mr. Kurz. Mr. Berrien's been on the force, Plattekill, for already 6 months. He's already completed all his training. So we're looking forward to having these guys join us.
Appreciate it.
And thank you, town board, for being
Thank you, shake our hands. Good stuff, Josh.
And
Welcome aboard.
on a good note, both of these gentlemen graduated from Monticello High School.
Ontario High School graduates, great.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you, So I'd like to make a motion to approve the hiring of Jordan Burrian and Joshua Kurz to the Olive Police Department. Can I get a second? All in favor?
Aye.
So approved. Thank you. Welcome aboard. Okay, next order of business. We have a contract coming up due on January 1st with the Ulster County Resource Recovery Agency, also known as UCRA. And it's a rather lengthy contract. It's for 5 years. The rates will stay the same the first year of the contract. They adjust the rates every year. The only difference in the previous contract is that there's an obligation for the town to use best practices, not best practices, but also the best efforts to divert organic waste and reusable materials. At the transfer station, the county is working on some grants to get to perhaps do composting at some point at the transfer stations, and also to reuse materials that people may no longer want that somebody else could use, bicycles, things like that. We kind of do that already, but it might be a more formal program. But that's the only difference from what we've done in the past with them. So can I get a motion to authorize the supervisor to sign the new contract with the Ulster County Resource Recovery Agency effective 1/1/26 through 12/31/31.
Make the motion to allow you to sign the contract.
In a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. I'd like to make a motion to appoint Pam Pelsman to serve as Deputy Town Clerk Tax Collector effective December 10th, 2025 at the rate of $24 per hour for the full-time position. Can I get a second for
I'll
that?
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. The comprehensive plan that we heard about earlier, there are copies here, right? Aren't copies, yep. There are copies available, and it is on the website. You can come into the town office, we'll print you one if you need one. There's a number of appendices to it. It's a rather lengthy document, and it's taken nearly 4 years for the committee volunteers to put this together with a consultant. It meant many public meetings, Hamlet meetings, a lot of community input up to this point. And the time period that there was no meetings was when they were trying to write it. So, you know, and the meetings happened they were all public meetings as they wrote it and discussed how to do the layout. There was a lot of back and forth technical stuff to get what we needed in there. But I think it's a great plan. I'm very proud of the committee for the work they've done. So I would just like to make a motion to accept the draft Town of Olive Comprehensive Plan from the Comprehensive Plan Advisory Committee, and we can all now review it. This is the first time the town board has gotten it, the public has gotten it in a form where we feel like we can move forward.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Jill, can I make a quick comment on that?
You can sure do that.
So, on behalf of the town board, I will refer this to the county planning board tomorrow. So
Mhm.
hopefully they will review it at their meeting in January. And then did you want to set the public hearing for this?
You want to make the motion? It's on
That's
the
next.
agenda.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to have the public hearing at 6:30 on our town board meeting in January. I think it's the 13th,
2026.
2026.
Anyone who second that one?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
In favor. You'll be there, right?
Yeah, we'll be there.
Okay, planning board member, we had to appoint a new planning board member to complete the term of Edwin Maldonado through 12/31/2027. We did not have a lot of time to email back and forth and call each other about this. So I'm gonna make a motion that we go to a very short executive session to discuss this personnel issue relating to the appointment of a planning board member. Can I get a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're gonna step into the back room here for about 5 minutes. Okay, we're back.
All right.
Did you tell?
I made the motion to go ahead. I just made the motion to go out of exec and Vicky.
Oh, I got that.
Was that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right. Does anybody have a motion to appoint a new planning?
I'll make a motion to appoint John McHugh to the planning board.
Make it a second?
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, moving on. Resolution number 28. I gotta get a drink of water for this. These are the things. Adopting the updated Shokan designated hamlet map. Whereas the town of Olive is located within the west of Hudson watershed for the public water supply system of the city of New York. And whereas the 1997 New York City Watershed Memorandum of Agreement and the 2010 Water Supply Permit between the Coalition of Watershed Towns in New York City established designated hamlet boundaries for the town of Olive. And whereas the town board of the town of Olive approves resolution number 3 of 2011 adopting the designated hamlet area maps. And whereas resolution number 9 of 2018 authorized an agreement with the Catskill Watershed Corporation to participate in the Shokan Watershed Wastewater Management Program. And whereas the town board of the town of Olive adopted resolution number 6 of 2022 accepting the map boundaries of the proposed Shokan Sewer District. And whereas the town of Olive conducted a public referendum on the formation of the Shokan Sewer District on September 24th, 2022, with the majority of the residents of the district voting in favor of the establishment of the district. And whereas resolution number 30 of 2022 established a sewer district in the hamlet of Shokan, the town of Olive. And whereas at the March 11, 2024 town board meeting, Ulster County Environmental Planner Heidi Emmerich and CWT, Coalition of Watershed Towns Council Jeff Baker presented an updated designated hamlet map incorporating the Shokan Sewer District map into the New York City DEP designated hamlet map, with the suggestion the sewer district be incorporated into the designated hamlet map. And whereas the town of Olive reviewed the proposed designated hamlet map and shared the map with the New York City DEP for further input, and whereas the town of Olive seeks to create economic viability in its hamlet areas and increase opportunities for housing within the designated hamlets, now therefore be it resolved, the town of Olive supports the inclusion of the designated hamlet map for Shokan, Appendix A of this resolution, into the fourth supplemental agreement between the Coalition of Watershed Towns and the New York City Department of Environmental Protection. Can I get a motion to adopt that, please?
Make the motion to adopt resolution 2025.
And a second?
I'll second.
And Kim, can you do a roll call, please?
Board Member Vargas.
Yes.
Board Member Kelder.
Yes.
Board Member Edinger.
Yes.
Board Member Reed.
Yes.
Supervisor Sefranco.
Yes. This is gonna be a long one. Resolution number 29 of 2025, resolution in support of the Coalition of Watershed Towns, signing the fourth supplemental agreement with New York City DEP. Whereas the New York City Department of Environmental Protection, the Coalition of Watershed Towns, the Catskill Watershed Corporation, and Delaware County have negotiated a fourth supplemental agreement addressing future land acquisitions by New York City DEP and the funding of various watershed protection and partnership programs. And whereas one of the goals of the negotiation was to change the designated hamlet area in the town of Olive to reflect the boundaries of the Shokan Sewer District, and whereas the town board of Olive went through a public process to delineate new boundaries, New York City DEP agreed to those changes, and whereas the agreement contains the following provision: revised hamlet boundaries, town of Olive. The parties agreed to revise the designated hamlet boundaries for the town of Olive as established pursuant to the 1997 New York City Watershed Memorandum of Agreement, attachments R and S, and the 2010 Water Supply Permit, Exhibits 4 and 5. The parties agreed to support and implement the revised hamlet boundary map attached hereto as attachment B and incorporated herein by reference. The city agrees that as of the effective date of this agreement, it shall not actively solicit for acquisitions of any parcels within the revised hamlet boundaries, except for parcels currently subject to contract as the effective date and subject of the exceptions set forth in section 1 through 6. The town of Olive may formally designate the revised hamlet area as ineligible for acquisition pursuant to the procedures set forth in special condition 10 of the 2010 water supply permit at the next available designation date of February 28, 2026. Town of Olive and the city may agree on an alternative to special condition number 10 for the designation of the hamlet area ineligible for acquisition. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of Olive agrees with the language in the agreement concerning Olive's hamlet boundaries, supports the Coalition of Watershed Towns signing the agreement, and thanks the coalition for its efforts. You know who wrote that?
Wasn't me.
I'll make the motion to adopt that. Can I get a second?
I'll second that. Yeah, you got it through.
I'll second.
And a roll call, please.
Board Member Vargas.
Yes.
Board Member Kelder.
Yes.
Board Member Edinger.
Yes.
Board Member Reed.
Yes.
Supervisor Sefranco.
Yes. This is the really long. So, the next one is to award the bids to the low bidders on the Shokan Sewer District. And this was many years in the making. I mean, this is Bert Leffeld started advocating for this, Sylvia Roselle advocated for this, and I advocated for this. And I want to thank Tim Coxair, the CWC, and the CWC, Jason Merwin, for working on this for many, many, many years and trying to make this happen. This is a win for people's property rights in the hamlet of Shokin. Whereas the town board of the town of Olive previously entered into the agreement with the CWC to participate in the community wastewater management program, which program will provide for the design and construction of a wastewater management project in the hamlet of Shokin. And whereas the program provides for CWC to administer and provide full funding for the wastewater management project through a block grant funded by the City of New York, and whereas CWC's consultant for the program, Lamont Engineers, has prepared a preliminary engineer's report for the hamlet of Shokin in the town of Olive, evaluating various alternative methods for managing the wastewater needs of the hamlet. And whereas the town board of the town of Olive, by resolution number 30 of 2022, passed on October 11, 2022, established the Shokin Sewer District to be funded through a block grant administered by CWC under the program. And whereas the preliminary engineer's report for the hamlet of Shokin recommend a total block grant for the hamlet of Shokin of $48,715,000 to provide for the design and construction of a wastewater treatment plant and collection system in the hamlet of Shokin, and alterations to the existing Boyceville wastewater treatment plant to combine for treatment of both the Boyceville and Shokin wastewater flows at the hamlet of Shokin wastewater treatment plant. And whereas the CWC Board of Directors subsequently agreed to increase the block grant amount to $70,337,000 to reflect the increased costs set forth in the amended updated cost estimate prepared by Lamont Engineers, and agreed to a Shokin project agreement amendment for a revised funding total of $77,846,500. And whereas in September 2025, the district solicited bids to retain the services of contractors to commence construction of improvements in accordance with the design plans prepared by CWC's consultant under the program, Lamont Engineers. And whereas the town has received the bids for the construction of the project and the recommendations of the project engineer, and whereas a resolution adopted November 4th, 2025, the CWC Board of Directors approved a total block grant for the hamlet of Shokin of $90 million and resolved to allocate up to $10 million from Catskill Fund for the Future for the Shokin project block grant expenses contingent on New York City DEP agreeing in writing prior to December 8th, 2025 to a block grant no greater than $90 million based upon bids received, contingencies, and engineering costs, as well as to amend the Shokin project agreement to reflect the amended block grant and to reimburse CWC for amounts spent from the Catskill Fund for the Future for the Shokin project. Whereas a letter dated December 4th, 2025, the DEP agreed in writing to a block grant of $90 million and agreed to amend the Shokin project agreement to reflect the amended block grant and to reimburse CWC for amounts spent from the Catskill Fund for the Future for the Shokin project. And whereas based on its review of the bids and the recommendations of the project engineer and the representations of CWC and the New York City DEP in the letter dated December 4th, 2025, that there is full funding available to the district for the project, the town board by this resolution shall authorize the supervisor and the project engineer to award the contracts to the lowest responsible bidder as set forth below. Now, be it resolved that the board authorizes the project engineer to issue letters of award to the following lowest responsible bidders, subject to the project attorney's review and approval of all necessary documentation, and subject to the lowest responsible bidder being properly filed and approved in the New York City passport system. Contract number 1, Shokin Collection System, Carver Construction, $47,937,174. Contract number 2, Boyceville Force Main, Bellamy Construction, $3,411,300. Contract number 3, Wastewater Treatment Plant General Construction, Jerson Construction Group LLC, $17,844,715. Contract number 4, Wastewater Treatment Plant Electrical, Stilsing Electric, $2,439,306. Contract number 5, Wastewater Treatment Plant HVAC, S&O Construction Services Incorporated, $348,420. Contract number 6, wastewater treatment plant plumbing, S&O construction, $374,282. Contract 7A, contract Boyceville wastewater treatment plant conversion, J Squared Construction Corporation, $1,428,000. Contract 7B, Boyceville Electrical, Stilsing Electric, $451,576. Contract 7C, Boyceville HVAC, S&O Construction Services, $59,125. Contract 7D, Boyceville Plumbing, Evergreen Mountain Construction, $38,000. And contract number 8, Commercial Water Meters, Orem Contracting LLC, $96,298. Be it further resolved that the board authorizes Supervisor Franco to work with the project engineer and the project attorney to negotiate with the respective lowest responsible bidders on the terms, conditions, and final specifications of the project and to execute contracts with those bidders. Be it further resolved that the town shall complete construction of the project even if the block grant amount proves insufficient to cover all the costs of completing construction and to operate and maintain such wastewater treatment plant and associated sewer system for the useful life of the system as provided in the participation agreement with the Catskill Watershed Corporation and the program contract between the Catskill Watershed Corporation and the New York City Department of Environmental Protection, which provided funding for this project. Can I get a motion for that?
I move that we accept, resolution number 30 for the town of Olive to accept the low bidders for Showcase Sewer District project.
I'll second that.
Okay. Town Clerk Daly, do you want to do a roll call, please?
Board Member Bacchus?
Yes.
Board Member Kellner?
Yes.
Board Member Edinger?
Yes.
Board Member Reed?
Yes.
Supervisor Franco?
Yes, thank you. We are on our way to having a sewer district in Showcase. For those of you who weren't with us last night, the project will start with probably some land clearing in the winter, early spring, at the site of the wastewater treatment plant, and start from there. Department reports. Mr. Burns, good evening.
I'm not gonna be as long-winded as you on this. No, but anyway, highway, early November wrapped up our last of our blacktop work. Also assisted town of Ulster, part of shared services. They helped us out tremendously with trucks and whatnot earlier in the season, and we reciprocated in the shared service program. Has always worked out great for all of our surrounding neighbors, and it's a great thing. So it's I was glad to help them out and close out their paving for the season. Also, early November, we had a tremendous amount of wind events that gave us lots of downed trees, and Upper Boyceville Road, High Point Mountain Road, Bostock Road, Dancing Rock, Eagle Ridge. We had High Point Mountain Road and Upper Boyceville Road closed for a period of time, and I said we've been working on this for years, and Central Hudson's been on and off with us, and we've always had these meetings of basically getting a representative out there to deem lines dead. Upper Boyceville was a prime example again that was closed for a period of time, and if somebody could have just got out there and deemed it dead, we could have swept the tree out of the road, and the road would have been open. It is accessible from both ends, but still, this is something we've expressed at meetings in the past. I know Chris is from the fire services.
Multiple times I've been down this road. I've been through the county coordinator's office. They don't want to hear it. They don't give a shit.
No, it's a shame, but it's something. Luckily enough, a road like Upper Boyceville, there's a way in and a way out, which is great. It's not like a dead end road, but it's just something that we always run into, and trying to hopefully one day come to a point of contact there to get this addressed in a timely manner, because it affects everybody. But other than that, continuing with a lot of our, danger trees. The guys have been working Turner Road, McMillan Road, Broadhead Road, High Point Mountain Road, Wistfeld Road. A lot of, standing dead trees we, removed, and then, basically along with getting our trucks prepped for winter, guys have been working hard, getting everything up to speed. We had a few breakdowns the last storm. Big thank you to Chris back there, and his son, and the rest of the guys for pitching in. We had 3 trucks go down, 2 of them we got back up and going. One we're working on to get out for the next storm, which I think we're gonna operate on our spare truck tomorrow. But anyway, winter's here, and other than that, we've been working on mid-November. We started the walking trail project in Boyceville. Had a short crew getting that squared away. Hopefully, I would say mid next week if conditions cooperate.
Got that in just in time.
Yeah, we should be wrapped up with that. So looking forward to getting done with that before conditions worsen. So that's been going along great. That's about it.
Okay, thank you, Brian. Oh, were you able to reach Ashley Sanders?
Yes, I did.
And that's resolved?
Yes, they've got their sign crew coming out tomorrow for all other signage that are gonna address that sight line.
Colebrook
issue.
Road and the rail trail, there were some sign issues, missing signs in the way. kind of thing.
No, and I pointed out to Ashley, I don't recall the beginning of the project where that rail trail signage was, to be honest with you, but where it is, it's certainly looking towards West Chopin, pulling out of Colebrook Road. It's great for a passenger car, a truck, not a big deal, but passenger car certainly.
Yeah.
Right in line of sight. She's gonna remove that tomorrow and.
Yeah, she's pretty good.
Sign
She's pretty responsive.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, Kim, town clerk report?
Well, I'll start with Olive First Aid. Olive First Aid responded to 27 calls in November, 23 within our primary response area, and 4 mutual aid calls assisting neighboring communities. The majority of the calls, 21, were at private residents, with the highest number in Olive Bridge and in Shokan. Most of the calls were medical emergencies, including falls, chest pains, and fainting. 16 patients were transported to Health Alliance Hospital, and the average response time from dispatch to arrival on the scene was 11 minutes. The court processed 45 defendants and saw 8 visitors in November. Activity included 53 vehicle and traffic tickets, with 6 total aggravated unlicensed operation cases. There were 5 DWI cases, 2 felonies, 4 misdemeanors, and 3 drug offenses. And the court notes that both DWI cases and aggravated unlicensed operation charges are on the rise this year. Chief Ryan reported that the police department handled 247 calls in November, bringing the year-to-date total to 2,347. The majority of those calls were routine security checks. Notable calls included 9 vehicle accidents, 9 welfare checks, 7 medical assists, and 5 domestic disputes. There were no arrests, and there were 5 traffic tickets issued. In the clerk's office, in November, the clerk collected $21,508. And major sources of revenue came from the transfer station at $9,000 for permits and cards, and from the building department with $7,000 in building permits, $400 in zoning, and an impressive $3,500 in short-term rental permits. And I think, Chris, Winnie, you have the fire report?
November's calls, we done 21 runs, 2 auto accidents, 1 mutual aid to Hackford, 1 mutual aid to Phoenicia, 1 mutual aid to Woodstock. 3 automatic alarms, 9 wires down, 1 EMS assist, 1 public service call, and 2 hazmat incidents. We are at 238 calls to date for this year. So.
Great, thank you, Chris. Okay, Drew, zoning.
Zoning. Right now we're planning to meet next week, next Thursday, not this week, next week, assuming the weather's good. We're still talking about, trying to modify our part of the zoning code that deals with hotels and motels. And Steve Dibble was playing around with AI to see if we could turn in the list of uses into a table like most other places do. Vicky started doing that maybe almost a year ago, but we're gonna still look at doing that, where instead of having a list of uses, we just have a table. But it's not obvious how to do that in our existing code. We're gonna give it a shot.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you wanna move on to police commission?
Police commission, the only thing I could say on the police commission, they're in the process of getting new body cam and new server and stuff for the body cams. One of the reasons body cams that we currently have aren't as good as they should be, and we're running out of space to store the videos. So, and I believe, I don't know the exact number, but most of that's being paid for by a grant from the state.
Yeah.
Which is good. And they're also should be in the process now of purchasing a new vehicle for the department. And the older vehicle will be retired or auctioned off probably.
Okay. Right in the comp plan then.
Right in the comp plan.
You put them all together, try to.
Yes. So the first thing I want to do is commend the Comprehensive Advisory Committee, doing an excellent job, particularly over this last year, trying to take I'll say the rough draft of the comp plan and getting it into something that makes more sense. And then we've got something that's reasonable to present to the public now. I don't have any plans for that committee to meet anytime soon. If we have significant changes to the document that arises out of the public hearing or the county input, then we'll probably go over those with our consultant. If it's just a bunch of typos and stuff, then we can probably handle most of that without having a meeting with the committee.
Can you ask them to attend the public hearing?
Yes, I will. Yes, I will.
Housing, Vicky.
The housing committee was scheduled to meet on November 17th. I was out of the country. I don't know if they met.
I think they canceled.
I think it got canceled too.
There was some sick.
And a new one hasn't been scheduled.
There was some illness right the day of the meeting. So. CAC.
Several members of the committee went to a training on, what's it called?
Conservation, preservation.
Conservation Preservation
Something like
Act.
that. Funds.
Funds, and they're gonna prepare one sheet and present it to the board in January to try to get on the agenda to discuss it with the board.
Okay.
Could I go
They're
back
still
to-
looking for more members too.
Could I go back to the comprehensive plan real quick, Jim?
Jeez, we're gonna have to rewind the whole tape. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay.
Comprehensive plan.
I just want to make it clear, if we wind up adopting this plan, this will be the first time the town has actually had a comprehensive plan, and it can be confusing to people that haven't had one before. But one of the things to keep in mind is the plan, nothing in it is regulatory. It would have to be changed in the zoning code for anything to become regulatory. So if we do wind up adopting this plan, the next step would be looking at what do we need to do to our zoning code to put into the recommendations out of the plan into the zoning code. And that's probably a lengthy, difficult process in of itself. And it might even have to be done piecemeal. We'll take pieces of the comprehensive plan and try to deal with it that way. We're not sure yet. Okay, sorry.
Are you done with CAC there?
I am.
CWT, busy month.
Yeah, it was. We covered a lot of it after the roller coaster of negotiations over about 2 years. The agreement was finally put out, and we hope to have that all signed and sealed before the end of the month, before administration changes down in the city.
Good. All that's left is coalition signatures.
Which
It
will be
is
next week,
in my
right?
secretary's office. And you meet Monday night?
Yes, next Monday. weather permitting.
Yes.
Okay, scenic byway, any action?
Quiet.
Nothing. Nada. Scott, Parks and Rec. This will be a final Parks and Rec.
Heck yeah. We didn't officially meet. We had to get together off-site to not talk business, but.
Workshop.
Yeah, workshop. Gene can fill you in on what's happening for winter.
Well, first, I'd like to thank Mr. Keldon for his many years dedicated to the
Yeah.
rec committee. Thank you very much. You were one of the few, nothing against any other board members, but really engaged in recreation and its value that it brings to the community. So I personally want to thank you, and the rec committee wants to thank you for your many years of dedicated service. And we tried to bait him to keep on going, but he said no. So anyway, thank you. As far as winter things, the adult basketball program is underway. Monday nights at the high school. Youth basketball is underway. We have over 50 kids involved. We play Thursday nights and Saturday late mornings. So that's underway. When we meet in January, we reconvene. We'll start setting up basically the foundation for day camp coming up. You know, we'll establish the dates. School once again goes late this year. The last day of school isn't until the 27th of June. So we may throw the parents a bone and start the following Monday, which helps out a lot of parents with daycare needs. But we'll finalize all that stuff in January, but that's pretty much it for rec stuff right now. It's just basketball. That's it.
Thank you. And thank you, Scott. That's good. The work you've done. And thank you, Vicky. Vicky had to hang out with the Conservation Advisory Council. That's work right there.
And the planning board, the first.
None of them are
3
here,
years
I can say
of-
that. Wave to the camera. Boyceville Committee, that's me. I'm gonna ask Gene to help me on this one, but they have, as Brian mentioned, they have put a pathway around the Stuckey lot behind the IGA. And the monument from the Boyceville Fire Department has been moved over, relocated to that lot. There will be a flagpole installed there. We'll have a light on the top of it that is solar and goes on and off with the daylight. And anchor fence was in there, and they have been installing a fence that should be completed by midweek.
Possibly Friday if the weather cooperates, but the foundation of the fence as far as the poles are all in.
Yeah, and the part of the fence will be like a 6-foot chain link right next to where their garbage stuff is, where they're just to keep that contained in there. And then once it gets to the end of that, it'll go toward a rail fence like like in Shokan, where they have the rail trail fence around the parking lot. So just a single wooden thing with posts, just a kind of a perimeter fence. And we're working on a little bit of signage to keep people, let people know what they can do and can't do there. What else, Gene? What else we got? Oh, and Ulster County Soil and Water
Yep,
has been working continuously on keeping the knotweed down. So if you get a chance, take a walk out there if it's not too snowy. And you can see that it's a beautiful view of the Esopus. They're just really nice. And we got benches coming in that are being anchored with some big concrete blocks that Brian was able to locate for us to keep them intact when the floodwaters come and they don't go flying up to 28. Anything else on that lot? That's pretty much it, right? Anything else from the board?
Yes.
Yes.
I just want to say it's been a pleasure being on this board.
Okay.
I have loved serving the town. We'll continue to do something. I'm not sure what.
You wanted to stay on the housing, right?
I'm gonna stay on the housing committee.
Okay.
But it's been an honor.
Great, thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
Been an honor working with you.
It's been an honor having your perspective and all your experience with your work and what you've lent to the town for things. All right.
Same for you, Scott.
And Scott too.
I appreciate you looking right.
When I left today, Tina said, "Are you gonna cry when you leave?" I'm like, nah, maybe a little bit. I agree, Vicky, this has been an experience, it's been 92% good. 8% okay. I enjoyed it, and thank you guys for attending and keeping us on our toes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. We're gonna close the meeting in memory of Harold Sheely of Shokan, it's Judy Gerard's father, Claire Collins of Olive Bridge, and Loman McLeod of Olive Bridge, who was a dear, wonderful soul, and Herbert Hamilton, Senior, also of Olive Bridge. So, motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
And I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.
Take it home, put it on your pillow.
You get to have that.
Oh, we're doing it, yes.